Good morning. This is Baton Rouge Labor Radio. I'm Michael D. Day, and we are proudly broadcast on WHYR 96.9 FM. This morning, we're going to go over a few of the elections that are coming up November the 6th. And I'd like to go over some of these constitutional amendments. And the first thing I'd like to do, well, we'll go over the District 6 congressional race, which there's not a lot of competition that Congressman Bill Cassidy will see. Louisiana has an open primary system in which any registered voter can choose which party's primary to vote in without having to be a member of that party. Louisiana does not hold a primary before the November 6th general election. If candidates do not receive a sufficient majority of the vote on that date, they go to a runoff to be held on December the 8th. Voters must register to vote in the November election by October the 9th for the December the 8th runoff. The voter registration deadline is November the 7th. That's for the December the 8th runoff. Heading into the election, the incumbent is Dr. Bill Cassidy, who was first elected in the wave of 2008. This will be the first election using the new district maps based on the 2010 census. Louisiana's 6th congressional district encompasses south central portions of the state: Point Capee, West Baton Rouge Parish, East Baton Rouge Parish, Livingston, St. Helena, East Feliciana, St. John, St. Charles, Assumption, Iberville parishes are included in the district. Unlike most states, Louisiana uses the blanket primary. Under this system, all candidates, regardless of party, in the same primary, a candidate can be declared the overall winner of the seat by garnering more than 50% of the vote in the primary. However, if no candidate reaches this threshold, then a general election will take place December the 8th, 2012, between the top two vote getters. The incumbent is Dr. Bill Cassidy. He is a Republican, which should come to no surprise to anyone that keeps up with politics in Louisiana. On November the 2nd, 2010, Dr. Bill Cassidy won re-election to the United States House of Representatives. He defeated Merritt E. McDonald Sr., a Democrat, in the general election. Dr. Bill Cassidy carried 65.6% of the vote, which was 138,607 votes. Democrat Merritt E. McDonald Sr. carried 34.4% of the votes, 72,577, and totally 211,184 people voted in the 2010 election. This election, he is being challenged by Rufus Holt Craig Jr. and Richard Targano. Rufus Holt Craig Jr. is a libertarian candidate seeking election to the U.S. House. And the information that we have on him from Ballotpedia, Craig is running in the 2012 election for the U.S. House, representing Louisiana's 6th District. Craig is seeking the nomination on the Libertarian ticket. Louisiana does not hold, as you know, Louisiana does not hold a primary, and they'll just throw them all in there. And, you know, that's about all the information we have on Mr. Craig. There hasn't been a lot of campaigning in this race. The overall just about consensus is that Dr. William Cassidy is, this is just next to being unopposed. We'll go down to Mr. Richard Targano, and same ballot from Ballotpedia, and Mr. Richard Targano is a 2012 unaffiliated candidate, seeks election to the U.S. House representing the 6th District. Targano is running, and that's it. I mean, we don't have anything. He's an independent candidate. I've seen no advertising on either one of these challengers to the incumbent Congressman William Cassidy. If we go to the 3rd district, now that is a hot race. There's several candidates that are running in the 3rd race, and it just seems to me that one is more radical than the other. And the third district, the candidates are the incumbent would be Charles Bostani Jr. He was the incumbent from the now defunct 7th district, which they had to do redistricting because Louisiana lost a seat. The impact of that was Louisiana lost a seat in redistricting, leaving 7 members of Congress with only 6 seats to run in 2012. The 3rd district will now stretch from the Texas border to New Iberia to St. Martin parishes. The incumbent left without a district was just Jeff Landry of the 3rd district, whose southeastern Louisiana region was split 4 ways. The 3rd district, as a result of redistricting, will be largely a new territory without a significant portion of Landry's current district. No longer in Landry's district are Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. Under the new lines, Landry will live in Charles Bostoni's and new expanded district. The incumbents will face each other in the Republican primary for the 3rd district. There is no Republican primary. The Hill listed Landry as the most vulnerable Republican in 2012 as a result of redistricting. Landry, last time he ran, really mopped the floor, 63.8% of the vote against the Democratic Rava Sandasachi, 36.2, 170,000 people, 877 people voted. We have Charles Bostani Jr., which we don't have a lot of, but we can get information. He is the incumbent, and I would think the favorite. And we've got a Ron Richard, and Ron Richard. This is not correct here. I don't know what's going on here. So we've got a Brian Ballaroo, and he's running. He's also a Republican, and we don't have a lot of information on him. Now we can go to the 2nd district, and the second congressional district, and a Democrat is the favorite there. That would be Cedric Richmond, and he is. This is a nonpartisan blanket primary, and Cedric Richmond. We've got a lot of information on him. He was first elected in 2010. Next election was November the 6th, 2012. He is from New Orleans, and he is an attorney. And Richmond is running in the 2012 election, and a heavy favorite. Most of these people are running for their own reasons, but I don't think they're going to beat this guy. Cedric Richmond in the 2010 election took 64.6% of the vote from Joseph Cao, CAO, 33.5% of the vote, and Mr. Cole was the incumbent. If you remember, he had beat